Hi Mesa Verde, here we are in another week of serving on our online tennis series. Now, last week we were going over the slice serve, and as I told you in last week's video, we want to go in a little more detail with the serve to help some of you kind of get started in putting spin on the ball. Today, we're going to use Andy as an example of having a beautiful topspin serve. Now, another term for topspin is a kick serve, and the reason why we call it a kick serve is because the ball kicks up. It bounces up in the air and produces a nice high bounce to it. So what Andy's going to be doing is he's going to be showing us that when he does his motion and he does his toss, the toss is going to be located in a little different position than when I was showing you on the slice serve last week. The toss on a slice serve was at 1 o'clock, a little to the right of your body if you're a right-handed player. But you'll notice when Andy tosses the ball up, he's going to throw it to the left of his body a little bit, and we call that at 11 o'clock, so that produces a little bit of a spin on the ball. So Andy's going to try to do a couple balls, and Andy, why is it that we want to use a topspin serve?
Well, the reason for the topspin serve, which is good about it, is that you're going to get a lot of clearance over the net, which is good, and then a lot of spin. So usually you use it on a second serve, so it kind of doesn't let your opponent kind of attack a weak second serve. So hopefully you get a lot of clearance, but then a lot of spin to make it tough for your opponent. So that's kind of the reason I like to use it.
And what kind of grip are you going to
I typically get more of the continental. I can move it a little bit from what Randy was showing last week with the slice here. I kind of just a little bit just to get more spin. So I move it over a tad.
Now, so you notice what he's doing is he's moving his racket so it's a little more to the backhand, just a little bit, so it closes his racket face a little bit. So when he comes up and brushes up, well, let's just let Andy hit some, and we'll see what a beautiful serve this is.
And as Randy was saying, I want the toss, so it's going to bounce a little bit into the court, but behind me, so I kick under it, and then I hit up. That was not a good one.
Okay. And you notice when Andy is serving, see, he's hitting up. He's hitting up on the ball, right, Andy?
I try to watch the seams of the ball, and I try to hit. As I make contact, I want to flip my racket from about 7 o'clock to about 1 o'clock. So I want to get the lift and then the spin.
Beautiful. I love that. Love it. And this serve is typically used as a second serve for most of the top players. However, you're going to find once you kind of get it down a little bit, you can also use it as a first serve because people have a hard time returning the ball. Andy, what's the advantage of a high bounce to an opponent when we're trying to return that?
Well, it's like anything. I like to play my backhand here. If I have to hit a return that's here and then the spin is going opposite, if you catch it late, you're in a lot of trouble.
Okay. Couple more here. Beautiful, Andy. And again, you notice the fluidity of his motion. Beautiful. He keeps his tossing hand up, as we've talked about before. He looks at the ball all the way into the racket, and he does his best to really finish up and through the ball. So, when we're serving, okay, we've got 3 basic fundamental serves going. We've got a flat serve, a slice serve, and a kick serve, or a topspin serve, okay? And there's even variations of that topspin serve, but not to overwhelm you guys. You can get started trying this, but be patient with yourselves. This is a shot that will change your serving forever, but you need to dedicate time to it in order for it to work, okay? So we hope that works for you.